Hi, and welcome to Transforming with Tracy, Health and Happiness Without Limits. This is the first video that I'm posting on this channel. I'm super excited to get things underway and get started with you guys. So today, because it's the first video, I want to talk to you about why I'm here. What am I doing? Why do I do what I do? What do I even do? Let's find that out, okay? So I am a fitness, nutrition, and mindset coach. And I want to talk to you about my journey, about why I became a coach, why I'm so passionate about helping other people get healthy and happy. So this all started when I was a kid. We got to go back a ways, but don't worry, this won't be a super long story. But when I was a kid, I was sick a lot, like literally all the time. You could put it on the calendar how often I was going to get strep throat, about 3 times a year. So many birthday parties I had to cancel because I was sick. And I had constant stomach aches. As a teen, I also developed migraines, and I would get these weird skin rashes, and they just never seemed to go away. And it never occurred to me that I should look into like why I had all these things. I just thought it was like normal for me to have to put up with, and I just wasn't a complainer. And I don't think I ever actually like went down the list of symptoms with a doctor, because the symptoms, it didn't occur to me that they could be related. It didn't occur to me that like a skin rash and intestinal discomfort went together. So I don't know if I ever brought them all up for anybody to say to me, hey, maybe there's an underlying cause for all of these things. So fast forward, and after I got married and I had my 3 kids, and things got worse. From there, I developed wicked seasonal allergies. Like I could not be outside the house in the spring or the fall at all. And then all the other issues just continued to get worse. Nothing went away. It just was always there. And sometimes it was worse, and sometimes it would kind of die down a little, but it would always come back. So my mom got sick. She was diagnosed at age 47 with stage 4 ovarian cancer. I was at the time 8 months pregnant with my oldest son, and my mom was my best friend. She wasn't just my mom. So I couldn't even imagine not having her around and having her there in my life. And so outwardly, I was really positive. She was too. We were going to beat this thing. She was going to beat all the statistics, and she was going to be the person that beat this disease. I knew what the statistics were for ovarian cancer, especially when it's found at stage 4. But I was positive we were going to beat this. But I think my subconscious knew better or knew differently, because that's when the anxiety and panic disorders started. And I had my first panic attack during my mom's 8-month remission. She did go into remission for 8 months. She survived nearly 5 years with ovarian cancer before she passed. So she did have an 8-month remission in there. And during that time, my husband and I went on a trip, and I had my first panic attack on an airplane. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know why I had never had panic attacks before. I had no idea what was going on. It scared the crap out of both of us. We didn't know what was happening, but they started to become more regular after that. Anytime I would be away from my kids, anytime we would travel, anytime life got stressful, I would get very anxious. And it took until well after my mom passed away to realize the root of that was losing her. It was so unimaginably painful to me to lose your mother that I was projecting that feeling onto everyone else. And I just assumed it would be like literally the most devastating thing that could ever happen to anyone. And it's not easy to lose your mom. But I started operating from the standpoint that if something were to happen to me, my children would be irrevocably harmed. They would never recover from that, and they would just never turn into decent adults. And, it was selfish of me to travel without my children. I was a mother, and I had to, always be with them. And I would have anxiety whenever I was away from them for any reason at all. And I had to take medication to fly after that, and for days before a flight, because the anxiety would start days before, and I wouldn't be able to sleep leading up to a trip. So that went on for a while. So fast forward a few years, and my mom passed away, and we were still, working into what was all happening with me. And when my twins were about 5, so my older one was probably 7, when I decided enough is enough. I need to figure out what is wrong with me because I'm sick all the time. My stomach problems were only getting worse. And so I started going to doctors, and it took them several years to come to the conclusion and find a diagnosis that I did have celiac disease. I also discovered I was lactose intolerant, which 80% of celiacs are, and really 80% of the adult world is lactose intolerant. In the US, more people somehow tolerate dairy than in other parts of the world, probably because it's so prevalent in our diet that our bodies continue to make lactase longer than other people's. But it's not abnormal to be lactose intolerant. It's actually extremely normal. So that's good news. I'm normal for that anyway. So since then, I started researching nutrition. Like, I got very geeky about it. Like, I need to know everything I can about nutrition. And I've continued to work on developing a more positive mindset. I was wanting to work through those anxiety issues. And I eliminated the anxiety issues by working on the mindset things, except I did still take medication to fly up until about a year ago. And in this past year, I've spent a lot of time researching a lot of things between the connection to health and nutrition. Because when I started the fitness journey, that was about 6 years ago. And I was sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. That's really what it was. I just was like, something has to change. And so I decided to do something about it. I started working out regularly. I lost 10 pounds. And then I started drinking Shakeology a couple years ago, maybe 2.5, 3 years ago. And I lost another 10 pounds I didn't change anything else, just started drinking Shakeology. And disclaimer, I'm not saying it's a weight loss drink, but I'm just saying for me, it helped me get rid of those cravings and gave my body enough nutrients that I didn't need more food. And then I was already eating, and 10 more pounds just fell off. And it's stayed off ever since. And I just felt so great all the time that I decided to become a Beachbody coach and help other people feel better as well. And through that, though, that journey has continued for me. I haven't just stopped there. Like, it's continued. I started really researching nutrition, and I started really researching that connection between nutrition and health, and nutrition and disease, and how you can affect your own health by what you eat. And so, and I know that, even though millions and millions of dollars are spent on cancer research every year, the incidence is only going up. Like 100 years ago, in the early 1900s, it was like maybe 1 in 33 people that would develop cancer. Today, it's 1 in 3. So clearly, even though we are doing all this research and spending all this money and throwing all this money at this disease and all these, cures and treatments, it's only getting much worse. And I really need to understand why that is. And then I really needed to understand why autoimmune disease is so prevalent now. It didn't used to be. Why do I have celiac disease? Where does that come from? Why did my mom have rheumatoid arthritis and my Nana before they died? Why does anybody have, lupus or fibromyalgia or all these other things that you didn't hear of, And why are so many more people today depressed? Why is there so many more food allergies? These things are all just getting worse and worse and worse. And why do obesity and diabetes continue to grow to epidemic proportions when we are spending so much time focusing on there's a new diet around every corner, and there's a new, weight loss, or there's a new drug that comes out every other 5 minutes, and yet it's only getting worse. So I really, really wanted the answers to these things. So through the process of researching these things, I also really, really was focusing on my own mindset and learning to pay more attention to what I allow into my mind in the first place, as well as paying attention to what I'm allowing into my body in the first place, and what that has done to make me healthier and happier. And so today, I am whole food, plant-based, vegan. That's been a brief thing for me. It's only been about 5 months. So I don't want to, talk out of turn here. I'm sure there are people watching this who have been vegan far longer than that. I was a clean eater before that for the most part, but going completely vegan for me has been amazing. I have no more symptoms of celiac disease at all, because before, even though I was eating cleaner, I was still getting symptoms occasionally. Not as bad, not as frequent, but they were still there. And I was like, why, if I'm not eating gluten, why am I still having these issues? And now I don't have them anymore, which is awesome. And then the other thing that I did is I have eliminated the anxiety and panic. They're gone. I don't need medication to fly in an airplane for about the last year. And I actually enjoy flying on an airplane now, like I used to when I was young. And so that in itself has been awesome. Just learning that I can control my mindset to the point where I can eradicate anxiety or panic for myself is so empowering to know that I can control this brain that's in here. And so, and I haven't been sick, you guys, like at all in over 2 years. Like I don't get colds. They go through my house. I have 4 kids. Like germs come in the house. Other people get stuff. I don't. Which is really nice. My last physical, according to my doctor, my blood work was perfect, which is actually really impressive because I donated a kidney several years ago, and they told me my creatinine would always remain elevated because I was functioning with 1 kidney. So for 3 years or so after the donation, it was elevated. Well, this last year, it's normal. So even that, which they told me was probably going to stay elevated forever, is now within normal range. So, and it's all just nutrition and mindset. That's it. There's no medications. I don't go to the doctor for anything other than my annual physical. I'm healthier than I was at 20 years old. And so at this point, I just really want to help you get healthy and happy too. It's so life altering to feel amazing every day. It just really is. And so that's why I started this channel, and I hope you find it helpful. And that's all I'm going to talk about today. We will get into individual things with nutrition and mindset as we go along. But for today, I just wanted to introduce myself, introduce this channel to you and why it's here. Please make sure you subscribe so that you can see the rest of the videos that will be coming out. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have an awesome day.